Hello everybody, Incon here, talking about some ward placement areas that are really key here for this season of Smite. I've been getting this request a lot. We're with a Sun Wukong theme this week, so we might as well pick Sun Wukong. Let's go ahead and get out some wards in some of our crucial areas. So I've been getting this request a lot. Where do I put out wards at the start of the game? Where am I looking for wards around team fights, end of the game, etc.? So we're going to talk about that. At the start of your game, you've got a couple areas that you want to ward. You have one area that's really crucial and a couple areas that are going to be situational. So your one really crucial area that you want to ward is going to be on your side, Harpies, right? On your left or right side, that is. So in which case, your side's going to be left on Order, right on Chaos. And you want to do a deep ward at the mid Harpies. The reason why you need this ward on Order side and over here for Chaos side, right, is because at the fight, at the mids, your jungler and your mid are going to be possibly fighting over these, and you need to have vision on them at the start of the game, okay? So in this case, if your team does not have better clear, your mid jungler solo, that means you have to give up the right side Harpies, and your team is going to go for the left side Harpies. Now you need to know if they cleared fast enough to where the other team is coming over to contest these. Your team needs that vision. If they don't have that vision, that's a very easy way to lose that fight and then snowball and lose the game and get it out of control. That's the most important ward you can place at the start of the game. Another great ward for the start of the game is going to be over their red buff. Doesn't matter what side you're on, it's the same ward. You throw a ward over their red buff. This is going to let you know what kind of start they're doing. It'll let you know if they have 3 people here at the red buff, if they have only 2 people here at the red buff, and they put their mid over on the speed side because they're afraid of getting invaded, if they're doing a back Harpy start because they weren't here at the minion spawn. It'll give you a lot of information very quickly. Okay, one of our most important wards as we get into the objective section of the game is going to be this Gold Fury ward. So with this Gold Fury ward, we have one particularly important location. So we see our beautiful Gold Fury here, and we see she has this little marker right here. Well, look at that. We can happen to place a ward right inside her butt. You can place a ward right inside the Gold Fury butt. Now, if the enemy team tries to hit this, what's going to happen? Ah, shit. I pulled the Gold Fury. Look at that. They can't clear the ward with one person because the Gold Fury is beating on them. If that person wants to clear the ward, they've got to hit the Gold Fury, pull it out a little bit, walk back around, and then go to hit your ward. Now see, the Gold Fury got pulled a little bit, so now she's a little bit out of location. So now you could come in from the back and clear this ward without hitting the Gold Fury, but at first they had to pull it. The Gold Fury does little itty bitty, what the hell is this? What the? That's right, Neith. See, that's a perfect example of what I was talking about. Neith came over, she tried to clear my sentry ward, and she got her ass bopped by the Gold Fury. Thank you, Neith. See how beautiful that was? That was exactly what I'm talking about. Even NPCs have a hard time getting that ward, dude. Even they do. Perfect example right there. So that's a very important ward there in the Gold Fury. When we're getting towards the mid-section of the game, we have a couple of wards that are important as well as we're looking, you know, towards the other objectives as well. So that ward where we put the beginning of the game is always crucial, as well on the opposing side. That deep vision is always going to be very, very important no matter what point of the game it is. As your ADC is starting to be basically a solo lane, right? Around the mid-Harpy spawn, you start to roam a little bit more. You're in the mid lane, you're in the ADC lane, you're in between the jungle, you're getting jungle creeps, etc. You're roaming around a lot more. There's 2 very important wards for your ADC, really 3. One is back here, the old yonder ward. You can either put the ward right here, or you can put that ward right here. I prefer the ward right here. This is going to give you vision pretty much if you're going to get ganked from that side. The only way they could get around that ward is if they did a pathing that you didn't have any vision in the mid lane and they pathed all the way around here. That's the only way they can get around that ward, and nobody ever is going to do that because your mid laner will see them, or your mid laner will have placed a ward there. Your next super incredible important ward is going to be right here. You'd be amazed how important this little ward in between this cubby is, because people wait right here to gank, or on the opposing side, they're going to wait right here to gank. Very important to be able to see this. And of course, the typical deep ward for your ADC, right about there, going to give you vision of people coming this way. They can't get in this little cubby. They can even come from over here, and you'll be able to see them before they get to the cubby. All very, very important wards that you need to be placing down. Now, of course, you can only place 2 wards at a time, so you need to communicate with your ADC where you're placing them. If you're probably going to be doing the deep ward because it's easier for you to get away than your ADC, and you're going to be doing this ward. But if you do those 2 wards, that means you don't have any vision on the Gold Fury, so you need your ADC to ward back here for themselves and to ward the Gold Fury. Another way you could do it that happens a lot is you do the deep ward and the Gold Fury ward, and they'll do that ward in the back ward. That's a very common way for that to happen as well. Now, when we're getting into the late stages of the game, our fight has now moved to the right-hand side of the map instead of the Gold Fury side. We're going to need to be warding up for our Fire Giant. There's 3 to 4 crucial warding areas that your team needs to have covered for this Fire Giant. The first of which, of course, is the Fire Giant pit. You need to have your sentry at least on the Fire Giant pit. Preferably where you're warding is you're going to be warding on your side of the Fire Giant. So in our case, that's right about there. The Fire Giant's going to spawn. This is going to be the opposite side of the Fire Giant. If they want to clear it, they need to come to about yonder. Otherwise, they're going to be hitting the fire and not your ward. Of course, if you're on the Chaos side, that means you're warding right about here. Same concept. Now, the next 3 wards that you need are you need vision up here. You need to know if they're coming deep from the middle lane. You need a ward back here. You need to know when they're coming from their tier 2 in their speed buff area. And preferably, you need a ward right here that shows if they're coming through from the tier 1. And if you have another ward, I would put it right here so you can see if somebody is behind the Fire Giant camp. That's 5 wards. That means that's going to require 3 teammates minimum to communicate and get those wards out properly. Now, do you need all those wards to do the Fire Giant? No, but the more vision you have, the better chance you have to secure that Fire Giant. The less people you need out zoning because you have the wards zoning for you. Thanks, guys, for watching the video. Hope you learned something today. Please subscribe if you enjoy the content. And as always, have a twitchin' day, y'all.